And welcome to Writer's Life, the place where you get the sight, sound, smells, taste of my particular writer's life, where you get the truth. Nothing but the truth about the writer's life. Subscribe if you haven't already. Punch the like button, like you're Tom Schreck, hitting the heavy bag. And tap the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on one single exciting video. And aren't these exciting videos, Tom?
Woo!
Yeah, woo!
Trying to contain myself.
Yes. Don't forget to go to vinzandrew.com. Grab all those terrific thrillers. The Shroud Key is presently a book pub. So grab it if you want. It'll be that way through the weekend, and you can be thrilled there. All right, well, yeah, as I just mentioned, I got the wonderful Tom Schreck, best-selling author, good friend, boxer extraordinaire, referee. Tom does it all.
Judge, not a referee.
I know. Why do I keep saying that?
Everybody does that.
I know. Why do I do that?
I get booed enough as a judge. I don't need to be a referee.
Yeah, I'd be the type that would get punched. Like I'd catch an uppercut, be like, bam.
Down
goes Sandry. Down goes Sandry.
I was just in the gym at lunchtime. Boxed 3 rounds. Got punched in the throat at one point.
You got punched in the throat?
Right in the throat, yeah. Didn't hurt as bad as I thought. I guess it wasn't flush.
So I mean, that's like, if you're in a bar fight and the guy's like 6'8", that's exactly what you do is you punch him in the throat.
Yeah.
And run.
Yeah. If you get punched in the throat while you're boxing, you're making a fundamental mistake because your chin isn't tucked down. So
right. Did you have your the mask on?
I got a headgear. I used to have one with a bar, and then I stopped using that.
That's what I have.
Oddly enough, because things hurt more because it increases the torque. So if you get hit, it's hurting your neck more. And also, your fighter gets 6 more inches to hit you with the jab. So right. I retired that headgear.
So what do you have now?
I got a headgear with cheek protectors, and the cheek protectors are fat enough that they protect your beak.
Oh,
so
okay. Maybe that's what I have.
Yeah,
that's what I have.
Probably, yeah.
The red Everlast thing.
Yeah.
Not that I use them that much. I have the heavy bag, but the heavy bag I love because it doesn't hit back.
That's right.
Yeah. It. So who is like the upcoming? Like, who's the next Mike Tyson?
Well, who's right now the biggest star in boxing is Canelo Alvarez, who's what they call a super middleweight or light heavyweight or middleweight. He fights 3 different divisions.
What's that, about 150, 160?
168, 175, 160. Middleweight starts at 160. He started boxing as a pro at age 14.
Wow.
And his nickname is Canelo, which is Spanish for cinnamon, because he looks less Mexican than I do. He has red hair, and he looks like he's from Belfast, and he's terrific. The heavyweight that everybody talks about is Tyson Fury, who's a 6'8" gypsy from. Can you say gypsy anymore? I don't think that's the right term.
Yeah, you can say gypsy
from England. But he just
you can't say retarded gypsy.
He just fought a crossover fight against an MMA fighter and got knocked down. He won the decision, but it's people are saying he must have been out of shape and stuff like that.
So when they do those MMAs versus a real boxer, I'm just going to say real boxer to say real boxer.
Yeah.
Like, can the MMA guy like kick him?
No. What they usually do is they fight under boxing rules, and the way MMA is structured, the MMA fighters get paid more to box than they do to fight in MMA.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons they do it, is that the one guy kind of controls the UFC, Dana White. And what's great about that is the UFC can say, you 2 guys are going to fight, for the title. And in boxing, there's so many different titles and organizations that guys say, I'm not taking that fight. I'll wait for this fight. And that's why UFC is so competitive and lots of ways compelling. I'm not a fan, but I respect it, and they have that ownership going for them.
Right. I don't think I've ever seen a single UFC match.
No, I don't. It's to
I've
me,
just
it's
seen
like
bits and pieces. It's just
like
a
a
brawl.
it's like a car wreck. I can't turn away. You know, it's
Yeah,
just,
yeah. And it's I don't know what it is. I mean, like it's like jujitsu, it's kung fu, it's like
it's been an interesting evolution of it because originally it started out the Brazilian jiu-jitsu's guys dominated. They would get you in a lock,
right.
and then it was
Wrestling.
then the grapplers took over, and now I think it's strikers, the guys who can punch and kick, are the guys who are winning it. But I don't know enough about it. You'll get comments saying I don't know what I'm talking about, and they'll be right.
I saw a clip of a recent bout on Rogan.
Yeah.
And they slowed it down. A guy got knocked out by a kick, and his jaw
Yeah.
went like 4 inches this way.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah. People have no idea. You know, it's just
it's physics.
yes. Biology.
Yeah, it's physics. It's a car wreck.
Yeah, who would ever think that getting punched in the face might not be good for you? You know?
Right. Yeah, yet we do it.
Yeah.
We like to do it. Speaking of being punched in the face, Mr. Schreck, what's your outlet for what's your outlet? Wow. Wake up, Vin. What's your outlook for publishing, genre publishing in 2024 now that we're 2 weeks into it?
You mean the industry as a whole, or my
world? You got the question. You do
all right. Well,
whatever direction you take it, whatever direction you want to take it. I don't care.
If you're looking at publishing and trying to figure out, how to catch the wave, if you're studying what happened 6 months ago, you're already out of date because it's going to be something else. And if you're reading books, Kindle books that cost you $2.99 on how to be a super success by using Facebook, TikTok, whatever, they're out of date if they wrote them last week. So for me, it's just keep writing because I like writing. I just turned just about getting ready to turn in my 4th book in about, I don't know, 8 months, which is a lot for me.
Wow,
that's an off year for you.
Don't be trying to catch up with me, Schreck.
Well, what I want to be is I want to write like in the style like modern men's adventure books.
That's what I like.
Pendleton and Travis McGee and those guys. And
I agree.
I don't want to write 400-page books. I want to write 150-page books. And people like them, and more. That I think one thing is for sure is this: your success is based on content. How much content you have out there. So. So my next one will be my 8th in the Duffy series and my 11th overall. And what I also notice is people like to read in the series. When you branch out, you lose a percentage of readers. So that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm a genius.
That's one thing that is never going to change. People love their series.
Yeah. Well, people like that, and they like the world you create. And they like it when, like I have my series, and then I have 2 other standalones. But those people are in the Duffy universe, so they make appearances every book.
Right.
And I bring back minor characters here and there because I love that when I read that. And whether it's Spencer or Travis McGee or Robert Crace or those guys, I love when the minor characters show up, even for a cameo.
Right. And we got to do one together. I mean, a couple of Albany guys. I can't believe we haven't.
I'd like to do that. We'll conquer the world, Vince. You and Albany. That's all we got, right?
Yeah, we are the kings.
We could put Nipper on the cover or something.
We could,
or Philip Schuyler. He's not doing anything anymore.
Yeah, they got him in mothballs.
That's right.
Until things swing the other way, I guess.
Because that was the biggest problem our city was having. So
yeah, it really was. It was a threat. It was a threat to our democracy, whatever that means.
Yeah.
I agree, though. I mean, I think one of the more positive changes is it I don't know. I mean, because I'm very much going independent these days.
Mm-hmm.
Aside from a few books that'll do traditionally, but
that kind of describes your sex life as well, doesn't it?
yes, it does. Unfortunately, I thought we weren't going there. You know what, though? I don't care anymore, Tom. I've had my fill.
I think it's been a while.
I did well for about 40 years.
I think it's been a while since you've cared.
I think it has too. And
you don't strike me as a guy who's belabored with minor worries. That's
a buddy of mine, a very good college buddy of mine. They were at the Providence basketball game this weekend, right?
Yeah. And
so they went after the game. They went and visited our old haunt, where everybody gather at the end of the day and drink beers. So, it was a hole in the wall, right? But it's since been renovated, whatever. Anyway, but still filled with Providence college students, right?
Sure.
And so these guys, they're all 60 years old or all about to be 60, and they're buying these girls drinks and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're like, naturally, they were dumping on us at the end, like, like, what was it like to be in college before we were born and stuff like that, which is a true. And I'm like, and so like he was kind of disappointed. I was like, because Paul's not married either, and I was like, Paul,
what's he thinking?
I'm like, nightmare scenario above all others. Say one of these fine young women who's 21 asks you back to her house and say something happens. And about a month and a half to 2 months later, you get a phone call, Mr. Jones. This is Dana, whatever's father. She's going to be having a baby, and you're going to be getting a letter from our lawyer. So I'm like, so for the next 21 years, you're going to be paying. So that's the type of stuff that scares me. Like, so
I can't picture a 21-year-old being interested in anything I'd have to say about anything.
Right.
About anything.
Tom, taking a step further, I can't think of anyone under 45 being interested in anything I'd have to say,
Yep.
That's why they say date your age, I guess. Yep. I mean, you're all set. You have a beautiful wife, and you guys,
thank you very much.
You are one of the winners.
Just in case she tunes in,
Yes. Let me ask her. Hey, honey. Oh, that was below the belt. Below the belt. Put them up. Take one off of Andrew's card.
So publishing.
What I was going to say before regarding publishing is I think the price of on the independent side of things, because you still publish independently too, right?
Occasionally, not much though.
Okay, but on the independent side of things, artwork has come way down, and so has the cost of a copy edit. And I don't know if that's because they're competing with AI or not, and I no longer want dev edits. My philosophy now is one clean draft.
Yeah.
Clean up the typos. Boom, go to press.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably in the minority with this, but when I read a book and I catch a typo, I don't care. I may go, oh, look at that. They spelled there wrong. And then it doesn't impact my story, my enjoyment of the story or the flow of reading it. And when I, read comments on Facebook or something, they talk about, the typos. Fine. Go.
You know what?
Go get Shrunken Whites and read that over again and knock yourself out.
I used to be so paranoid about that stuff.
Yeah.
Precisely because I suck at it.
Yeah, me too.
I can't spell worth a shit. And I even have a sneaking suspicion that I'm dyslexic, maybe I'm just stupid. But
Italian and dyslexic.
Yeah,
mixed race there. Yeah.
Which means I eat my pizza with a knife and fork.
Of course.
Which is actually all
family crossed the dyslexic sea and settled in Italy. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But what was I talking about?
Typos.
Before we got off, yes, typos. you know, and I used like that was one of the reasons I left a certain publisher, because one of the books was just there was a typo on every page. Now listen, like you have like 10 typos throughout a book. Big whoop at this point.
I had one like that. The publisher went out of business. It was and it was embarrassing. And you know, what are you going to do? You know, but I also had that. I had typos in my Thomas and Mercer books too. Right? So
right,
and that went through layers and layers of editors. So
yeah, that was I remember that was like remember they would now this is Thomas and Mercer folks. We did I don't know we both did about I did 9 books there. You did probably close to 9 books.
Oh no, I only did 2.
Oh, all right, well whatever, but they used to be like, okay, here's the edit. Well, can you get it back in like 5 hours? Okay, and here's the next one. Can you get that back in like 3 hours? Great. Here's the next one. Can you get that back? Like, we'll wait.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I remember like by the final book, I was like actually yelling at them. I'm like, I've had it with this, you know, and they're like, sorry, but it's part of the process. And I'm like, I'm done with, you know, and just my whole attitude towards it.
They could sell books though. They could sell books.
Oh boy, could they move books when they wanted to?
Yeah,
they really could.
I have right here. This is when my book hit number 1 in Hard-Boiled Mysteries, and at the time, I was listed as at the number 14 Amazon author rank.
Unbelievable.
I think on that day, Harlan Coben was number 22.
Yeah, see, you were beating Harlan.
So I printed out, took a screenshot of those, and they are on my wall. But
it's a beautiful thing. When they wanted to push a book, they could, and they would deny it. They would deny it, like no. Look, we everybody, you know, we don't, you know. I'm like,
well, they made mine the deal of the day.
Yeah, they were an editor's pick or something.
I went to number 1. It was
and that's why the final one I did with them didn't do squat. And I'm like, but somebody else, a new person had taken over, whom I don't think liked me very much or my take on life. And I'm like, you need to relaunch this and do it right. You know, no, like we did all we could for it, you know, and all this. I'm like, you're full of shit. You know, and therefore they're like,
there's nobody who doesn't like you, isn't there?
Yeah, no. I find that hard to believe. You know, I'm like Padre Pio, and everybody likes me. But in any case, yeah, they could sell books. I don't know what it's like today, but
yeah, me either.
But I do think that having this is what I was going to get at to the audience. Thomas and Mercer was an Amazon publishing imprint, which meant you were stuck with Amazon. If Tom or I had gone to say the one bookstore we have left in Albany and asked for a signing with these books, the likelihood of them allowing us to do a signing would have been laughed out the door, probably. Unless
I had a signing set up in Pennsylvania. I think it was after like Malice Domestic or one of those big conventions, and there was a big bookstore signing with lots of authors, and they rescinded the offer after I signed with Thomas and Mercer.
Oh, sure.
It was signed. I agreed to do it like a year ahead of time, and then they heard and they said, "You're not.
We don't want you."
Yeah,
yeah. They canceled you, Tom. They canceled you.
I was canceled.
The cancel culture had begun.
It was the bookstore Me Too movement at the time.
It was. It was. Hashtag.
It's me and Dave Chappelle didn't make it to that sign.
Yeah. It's now it's like I saw some guys I saw on social media this weekend, like some of the guys I know from New York, like doing book signings, and I'm like, I don't get it. Why even bother? But some people like that. They like doing that, you know.
Well, there's a guy I used to who was published with me at Midnight Ink, Tim Malini. Great guy.
Right.
Great guy, great writer. And he's back after a few years. And I saw he was doing signings all over the country. And he's with, I think he's with Poison Pen.
Right.
And great guy. But, you know, one, you have to have the lifestyle that allows you to do that. And then, you know, will you get will you get money back, or is your publisher sponsoring it? That's wonderful. But
Definitely not on both counts.
yeah, when you're with one of the big houses, they'll fly you around, but that doesn't sound like that much fun either, because you're one night in Minneapolis and then you're in Chicago or outside Chicago,
Right.
and then you're on to Toledo, and
Right. But also, like I was saying before, now with the remaining four, it's DEI has hit the presses there, and they have sensitivity readers now, and I wouldn't stand a chance.
that's a pretty fair bet there, Vincent.
I wouldn't stand a chance.
I don't know if you probably haven't been offered many DEI committee positions, have you?
No, I have not, Tom. And I consider it a threat to my democracy. I do.
Well,
And they,
Columbus Day.
They all know.
Your holiday there, Columbus Day. They took it away from your people.
Yes, they did, and I'm still angry with that. And I'm gathering the militia, the Italian militia.
I wrote. I did a couple of. I did 3 pieces on DEI for one of the magazines I write for. A couple of magazines, and it's strange when you go to write those stories, because companies won't talk to you. They'll send you emails. They won't grant an interview because they're afraid of saying something wrong.
Right.
So I would get these long emails from companies like Pepsi or Regeneron and stuff like that. Good stuff, nice people, but nobody really wanted to be asked a tough question.
Now they're saying like that Alaska airline, the door flew off. I think it's 737.
That's a tough marketing position.
It is, and they say it's a direct result of a DEI hire.
Wow!
How do you attach this door again?
This is where you get in trouble, Vince.
Right, but that's what they said. They were like, how do you attach the door again?
Vince.
Vince,
stop it, Vince. You're gonna.
Yes.
I don't want to be lumped in with Vince.
This is America, Tom. This is America. You can say and do what you want. Tom's like la 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 la.
Why did I? Can't we go back to boxing or something? I don't know.
Yeah. All right, but okay, I'll leave it at this, and that's all I'm going to say is, but I do not want DEI affecting the pilot who's going to fly me to Rome, in March.
Okay.
You're like, how does this work? What's this button do?
Okay.
Murder. Ill-fated flight 73.
That's
anyway. So I don't understand this world, Tom. It's upside down.
Well, you're past your prime, Vince. We both are.
Yeah.
We're on the 18th green. Getting ready to go in the clubhouse.
Brother, can you imagine? I was saying to my college buddies the other day, I was like, where have the past 40 years gone?
Yeah.
It's like I blinked and it was over.
That sounds like you ought to write a song with that title. Blinked and it was over. So
a cowboy song, yeah. Where's the past 40 years gone? Down the toilet. We'll call it down the toilet.
Yeah, there you go.
No, it's been a good 40 years, I think.
Well, that's what's good when you get older. Your memory, kind of, your awareness goes away at the same time that you have to look back on the last 40 years of existence.
Yeah, I'm actually praying for early onset. I just want this. I just want this, just like what's for chocolate chip ice cream? What's this nuclear suitcase? Nuclear football. Anyway, Tom, what's going on next with you and your books? What are you writing now, and where can people get in touch with you?
The latest book that came out is called The Real Deal.
Yeah, The Real Deal. From Down and Out Books.
Before that was The Comeback. Before that was Redeeming Trace, and coming out soon, just turning it in this week, is The Shuffle.
Aha. So, is The Shuffle in the Dombrowski series?
It's a Duffy series, yeah, and it's The Shuffle refers to, there's a concept called the Florida Shuffle.
Yeah.
I'd invite the listeners, the viewers here, to Google that. And Florida is known for easy access to health benefits, particularly with the addicted. And there's a group of unscrupulous folks running sober houses where they take people in, exploit their benefits, get them addicted so they can keep using their benefits. In some cases, turn women into prostitutes, and it's called the Florida Shuffle. And so that's one of Duffy's friends gets caught up in that. Duffy has to.
That sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
Looking forward to reading that.
Another groundbreaking Tom Schreck book.
I'm sure it will be.
And there's no reason together. There's no reason that the viewers can't buy this book by the case. Sometimes say, where can I get it? I say, why don't you buy a case, and then you can get a box of that and send it around.
Yeah. None of this like sharing the book shit. Yeah.
I'm going
to give it to Aunt Myrtle after this.
I love that. Or I got it out of the library. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So. Yeah. They should shut down the libraries. They should. It's just stealing from authors. And it's a threat to our democracy.
There you go. Go.
Where can people find your cases of books?
You can get them on everywhere books are sold. But go to Amazon, go to downandoutbooks.com. Sometimes you might see me on the corner of Central and Quail in Albany selling them. So
reason.
That's right.
Need to eat.
All
right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Vince. Thanks for having me. Thanks, everybody.
All right, see you next time, brother.
Okay. See you guys.
And everybody else. Ciao, ciao.